public snub for her 45th birthday.
But where was her mother, Doria?
This was all particularly tragic, given that Meghan herself had to mark her own birthday.
Ooh, look, I'm 45.
Oh dear. For once, I agree with Prince Harry.
Harry's kind of done playing that game.
Harry needed only 2 words to wreck Meghan Markle's 45th birthday performance. While Meghan danced through her Montecito kitchen in a paper crown, wore a shirt announcing that she was still very much a missus, and turned the family dogs into party props, Harry could apparently be heard off camera saying, "Oh dear." That tiny reaction immediately became more interesting than the celebration itself.
Oh dear.
Oh dear indeed. Followed by the unedifying view of her dogs being forced to wear party hats and a Prince of the Realm's gross bare feet.
Wait.
Oh dear.
Girl. Oh no.
No.
Okay, let's take it off. I'm sorry.
Meghan appeared to be selling happiness, romance, success, and total control. Harry sounded like a man watching another carefully arranged moment become far bigger than necessary. And suddenly, the birthday clip no longer looked like harmless fun. It looked like a message. The real question was not whether Meghan enjoyed turning 45. It was why she needed the entire internet to see proof that her marriage, brand, and California dream were supposedly still thriving.
Why is she wearing it looks like a bridal pajama set that you give for friends. You go on a hen do, like wifey material, soon to be sort of thing. And she's not giving wifey, she's giving crazy.
The video had all the ingredients of a spontaneous family joke, but almost everything about it felt selected for public consumption. Meghan wore the novelty tiara. The dogs had birthday hats. The kitchen looked polished. Her clothing placed the word Mrs. directly at the center of the image. Harry's voice established that he was nearby, even though he never stepped fully into the scene. That combination was almost too perfect. Meghan did not just show viewers a silly birthday dance. She showed them the title, the home, the husband, and the lifestyle in one compact package.
These rumors of Harry's close friendship with a woman in Montecito, all of a sudden it's like, we're fine. I promise you, we're really fine. And the fact that she even posted the clip with him saying, "Oh dear," is like a sign that it's just desperate to show there is some form of proximity. He loves me really, okay? He even loves my dancing.
Yet the louder the clip tried to communicate contentment, the more people wondered why contentment required such a deliberate display. A genuinely private joke usually stays inside the house. This one was edited, posted, and handed to millions of strangers. That is what made Harry's reaction so damaging. Perhaps he was joking about the dogs. Perhaps he was amused by the hat. Perhaps the words meant absolutely nothing. But Meghan decided to publish the footage with his voice still audible. Once the clip reached the public, she lost control of the interpretation.
Oh dear.
Before we continue, one quick thing. One thing I've realized is that most families don't have their important information organized in one place. That's exactly why I recommend the Family Vault, a simple, printable, and fillable organizer where you can keep everything from important documents and insurance to medical information, passwords. You'll find the link in the description, or you can simply scan the QR code on your screen. Now let's get back to today's story. Viewers heard a woman performing cheerful confidence, and a husband responding from the background with 2 words that sounded tired, awkward, or amused at her expense. The scene Meghan may have intended as evidence of a playful marriage became another reason to inspect that marriage. Instead of silencing speculation, the post supplied a new soundbite. The birthday girl dominated the screen, but Harry's off-camera comment stole the entire moment.
The most important day of the year. It's giving Mrs. Isn't that a shirt a newlywed would wear? Like a novelty just married look at me in Mrs. now kind of thing. Definitely a message to the divorce rumors.
That was not the romantic supporting role the video seemed designed to deliver, and the timing made the message impossible to miss. Meghan has faced months of questions about separate appearances, solo travel, Harry's connection to Britain, and whether the couple still shares the same public ambitions. None of those things proves a marriage crisis. Couples do not have to attend every event together.
Seriously? I thought this was fake. Some things are best left in the phone and not posted for the world to see. Meghan Markle
Yeah.
must be the most insufferable person to live with.
But when speculation is already circulating, appearing in an It's Giving Mrs. shirt does not look neutral. It looks like an answer. Meghan could have worn anything. Instead, the most visible statement on her body reminded the audience that she remained a wife. Harry could have stayed completely outside the footage. Instead, his voice was left in the final clip, confirming that he was present. It felt less like a random outfit and more like a wearable press release.
What happened to Meghan Markle's quiet birthday plans? You know, the plans that she briefed to Hello magazine? Instead, we had to see a woman who believes she should have a royal role in some type of sachet like a drag queen around her crap kitchen with a fake birthday tiara on her head. This is real.
Harry is here, the marriage remains intact, and Meghan is still Mrs. Prince Harry. That matters because Harry is not merely Meghan's husband inside her public story. He is the source of the royal connection that still gives nearly every reinvention its global value. Meghan can introduce herself as a founder, producer, host, activist, lifestyle expert, or entrepreneur. She can place flowers on a table, launch a product, record a podcast, or film a cooking segment.
Can't help but feel that Harry's kind of done playing that game. If you remember when they did that dance in the garden, he took a bit of convincing before he'd smile on camera to actually play along with her. I think he's just done with her games and her nonsense and her constant thirst for attention. No wonder he looks drained, Dan. Can you imagine how exhausting it must be trying to keep her happy?
Oh my God, I know. Oh dear indeed.
Yet the international fascination remains tied to the fact that she married a British prince. Remove Harry, the Duchess title, and the palace history. And would a paper crown in a California kitchen become worldwide news? Would strangers analyze a birthday shirt, a pool photograph, or a company caption? Meghan presents herself as completely independent, but the attention surrounding her still depends heavily on the institution she left and the man who connected her to it.
Meghan can't help herself. She has to celebrate herself. We saw very, very similar when it was their anniversary. It was the celebration of Meghan. Everything was geared up for Meghan, and then this.
Then came the claim that the birthday itself would be quiet and low-key. Quiet compared with what? The public received the kitchen footage, the party props, images associated with the celebration, a childhood photograph, a brand message, and another round of product-linked attention. Meghan did not simply celebrate a birthday and get accidentally discovered. She created a sequence of content. Every image had a purpose. Every post carried a mood.
This might be a little bit of a bid to hit back at those divorce rumors, or at least the problems in the relationship.
The audience was invited to see a woman surrounded by joy, family, memories, business momentum, and California comfort. Meghan is entitled to share as much as she likes. But calling the occasion private while distributing a carefully managed package only makes the package easier to question. Privacy appears to mean that Meghan controls the camera, not that the public is excluded. The company birthday message was perhaps the most revealing part of the rollout. Meghan's own lifestyle platform publicly celebrated its founder, which essentially meant an account connected to Meghan was praising Meghan while bringing attention back to Meghan's business.
While putting out new pictures of her childhood. What's that about privacy? There was one public message, one. Nothing from the royal family, nothing from any A-list friends, one message publicly from Kelly J. Zedgfen, who wrote happy birthday to this great dream girl.
It transformed a personal milestone into another marketing opportunity. A childhood photograph could have been warm and nostalgic. Instead, it arrived inside a larger promotional machine. The effect was strangely circular. Meghan creates the brand congratulates Meghan, and the public is expected to treat the message like an outside tribute. Could the birthday not exist without becoming content? Could the brand not remain silent for one day? The more the celebration became connected to business, the less natural it looked. Affection started to resemble advertising.
You mentioned friends. I don't know how many they've got left. And even Martha Stewart, she's even had a go overnight at Meghan Markle's attempt to be a homemaking guru.
That also made the limited public noise from Meghan's famous circle much harder to ignore. Her image has long included stories about influential friends, private group chats, supportive women, exclusive dinners, handwritten notes, and powerful Hollywood connections. Private birthday wishes may have arrived. Nobody outside that circle can know what was sent behind closed doors. But Meghan invited viewers to inspect the public celebration, and the public saw far more activity from her own accounts than from the celebrity network often associated with her. The brand spoke. Meghan posted,
There were no congratulations or celebrations from the Kardashians or the Williams or even her Suits co-stars. So instead, as ever, the account that she runs, the account that she writes, posted this. Happy birthday to our founder, Meghan.
The dogs participated. Yet the huge parade of famous tributes did not match the scale of the friendship image that has been sold for years. When your own company becomes one of the loudest voices wishing you a happy birthday, people naturally ask where everybody else went. This is where the birthday began to look less like a celebration and more like an annual progress report. At 45, Meghan wanted the audience to see a woman who had left royal life, crossed an ocean, built a home, protected her family, launched businesses, and found freedom on her own terms.
It's just Meghan celebrating Meghan. Meghan wishing herself birthday messages from Meghan to Meghan. It reminds me, she had a watch inscribed many years ago. She bought herself a tank watch and she had it inscribed for the future daughter that she might one day have. And it was like 2mm from MM. It's still very much the same.
That was the promise behind the move to California. 6 years later, the proof of victory was a novelty crown, a slogan shirt, party hats on dogs, and a prince who could be heard but not properly seen. Is this the final picture Meghan imagined when the couple announced that they were stepping into a bigger, more independent future? The scene may have been lighthearted, but the contrast was brutal. The dream sounded enormous. The birthday image looked unexpectedly small. Meghan's public identity has changed repeatedly since she entered royal life. First came the modern duchess who would transform the monarchy. Then came the woman describing why that institution had failed her.
Yeah, where is Mum? Where is Mum? I mean, Mum was so close to her throughout the wedding process. And, she constantly said, my mum is my idol, the woman I look up to. Where is she? Missing.
Yeah.
Missing in action.
At this point, we should put her on a milk carton.
Yeah, well, I totally agree.
After that, she was presented as a global humanitarian, a major streaming producer, a podcast personality, a campaigner, a founder, and eventually a domestic lifestyle authority. Reinvention is not automatically a problem. Public figures evolve, businesses change direction, but Meghan rarely appears to complete one chapter before introducing the next. New logos, new photographs, new language, and new promises arrive with enormous publicity.
Nearly a decade after she burst onto the royal scene, Meghan has gone from actress to working royal to podcaster, reality star, entrepreneur, and one of the most polarizing public figures in the world. Love her or loathe her, she's impossible to ignore.
Then, the attention moves elsewhere before the public can decide whether the previous project delivered what was promised. The launch becomes the achievement, while the result remains much less clear. That is the difference between fame and popularity, and it may be the central problem facing Meghan's brand. Fame means people recognize the name. Popularity means they like, trust, or support the person behind it. Meghan clearly has fame. One kitchen clip can generate international headlines within hours. But why are people watching?
She's still involved in that reinvention process, but it's just not working. I mean, people don't look at Meghan Markle and go, oh, look at that royal lady, look at that princess. She's a fully fledged member of the royal family. No, they look at her and say, look, there's that 2-bit cable actress trying to be a member of the royal family and failing.
Are they inspired by the lifestyle or waiting for the next awkward moment? Are they admiring the marriage or analyzing Harry's expression and tone? Are they interested in the products or fascinated by the possibility of another public miscalculation? Attention can come from admiration, disbelief, curiosity, or mockery. Meghan consistently attracts attention, but she does not always control which kind she receives. A viral birthday clip can be a success in numbers and a disaster in meaning.
This is the closest that Meghan Markle's ever going to get to wearing a tiara ever again. So, let it go. Let it
Small
go.
mercies.
That is exactly what happened here. Meghan may have wanted the message to be simple. I am happy, loved, married, playful, and surrounded by family. The audience rewrote it within minutes. The paper crown became desperate. The Mrs. shirt became defensive. The dogs became props. Harry's reaction became exhaustion. The supposedly quiet day became a publicity campaign. Meghan gained the conversation but lost the conclusion. This pattern has followed many of her public moments.
I don't think that she could relax. I don't think she relaxes when she's asleep. She's just constantly processing and calculating.
She releases a polished image with an obvious emotional purpose, and viewers focus on the details she did not intend to become the headline. This time, the smallest element was the most powerful. 2 words from an unseen Harry cut through every visual cue Meghan had placed in front of the camera. Perhaps silence has become one of Meghan's greatest risks. When no new image or announcement appears, attention shifts toward measurable results. People ask what happened to previously announced projects. They examine the business. They notice which deals continue and which disappear. They compare Meghan's promises with the final product.
Nothing ever quite satisfies her. So even, the rare occasions when it looks as if things are going well for her, she won't be pleased. She'll want it to be better, and she'll try and reinvent. So the reinvention process with Meghan, I think, will be permanent, and it will never reach fruition.
They watch Harry travel alone and wonder whether the Sussex brand still has one direction. A birthday spectacle interrupts those questions. It gives the media a new costume, a new photograph, a new joke, and a new emotional storyline. But distraction only works when the performance feels effortless. This one did not. The tiara, balloons, slogan, animals, photographs, and company post created the impression of a woman working extremely hard to look as though she was not trying at all.
I think she's in a constant process of trying to reinvent herself, but it just doesn't work.
The royal symbolism made that contradiction even sharper. Meghan left royal duty, criticized the system, and built a public identity around freedom from the institution. Yet a crown, a duchess title, a prince, and the word Mrs. remain central to the attention she receives. Even a birthday dance in California circles back to royalty. The crown reminds viewers of the monarchy. The shirt reminds them of Harry. The title keeps the palace connection alive.
The whole business of marrying Harry, becoming a royal, always wanted to be a princess. This is a process of reinvention. I'm really not top of the tree, am I, in Hollywood? I'm not Meryl Streep. I'm not Nicole Kidman. I'm in some poxy little cable show, Suits. I'm not really making it. So I need some other way of getting to the top of the ladder. I know I'll find myself a prince.
Meghan says she created an independent life, but independence is difficult to prove when royal references continue to supply the value. How separate is the lifestyle brand when the biggest story is still whether the prince sounds happy in the kitchen? How far has Meghan moved beyond the palace if every reinvention requires the audience to remember she once stood inside it? To be clear, oh dear is not proof of divorce, misery, or separate lives. It would be irresponsible to pretend 2 words establish what happens inside a marriage.
It's quite extraordinary, isn't it, to feel that you have to brief the media about the fact that you are going to have a quiet birthday, but then insist on invading your own privacy once again.
6, 7, 8 photographs, plus various posts, plus a video. This is really celebrating quietly, But this is Meghan. She doesn't want to celebrate it quietly, but it is rather embarrassing that she had no one wish her a happy birthday in the celebrity world.
Harry may have been joking affectionately. He may have been reacting to the dogs. He may have loved the entire scene. But the clip demonstrates how little control Meghan now has over public interpretation. Once viewers distrust the presentation, even harmless details become suspicious. A beach photograph turns into a body language debate. A dinner appearance becomes evidence of distance. A birthday joke becomes a marriage story. The more Meghan tries to close the subject with curated proof, the more she reminds everyone that the subject exists. Security rarely needs to advertise itself so loudly.
45-year-old woman who fled British royalty making charges of racism and being silenced wears a plastic princess tiara in her kitchen in her solo birthday celebration. You can't make up this level of irony.
The next chapter will be even harder. Meghan can no longer announce a complete transformation every few months and expect the public to forget the previous version. Another podcast will be compared with The Last Deal. Another television project will be judged by whether it actually appears and whether viewers return. Another product launch will be measured by real demand, not only by celebrity gifts and launch day headlines.
Meghan Markle never skips an opportunity to celebrate herself. I mean, it's just so obnoxious to me that she would, I mean, the pictures, they're, it's just silly. It's like, I think we maybe overuse the word, but it's just too perfect here. It's undignified some of her behavior and some of her pursuits for media attention.
Another family image will be examined for the accusation it appears designed to answer. The novelty of reinvention has faded. Meghan now needs results that remain visible after the publicity cycle moves on. Not a new slogan, not another carefully arranged photograph, not a birthday post that briefly dominates social media. Something strong enough to stand without palace drama. What happens if that lasting success never arrives? Meghan could introduce another brand, return to acting, produce another show, write a memoir, or place Harry more visibly inside future content.
I'm all for, a fun life. But a 45-year-old woman leaping into a swimming pool, with her balloons and 45, emblazoned on them, that is not the act of a mature middle-aged woman. And she is a middle-aged woman. Let's get that right.
But each new beginning carries a greater risk because the audience remembers the earlier beginnings. The reinvention machine must keep moving, yet every movement makes the pattern easier to recognize. Stopping would give viewers time to inspect what is actually left. A famous title? A divisive reputation? A lifestyle business still fighting for trust? A husband whose royal connection remains the most valuable part of the package? And an audience that watches closely without necessarily believing the story being sold. That is not the empire Meghan once appeared to promise.
She's celebrating herself. So this is her 45th birthday. I don't know if you've noticed, but she's got a husband and 2 kids. And the picture she posts on Instagram is just her leaping into a pool, celebrating herself. As you say, it's not dignified. It's not the act of a mature 45-year-old woman. I think it's the act of a woman who's still very lost. She doesn't really understand or know her place in life. She's still searching for it.
This is why the 45th birthday clip mattered far beyond the paper crown. It was supposed to look like a victory lap. Instead, it played like a response to several uncomfortable questions. Is the marriage secure? Is Harry still involved? Is the business thriving? Does Meghan have a real Hollywood circle? Has the California dream delivered what the couple promised? Meghan answered with a kitchen dance, a Mrs. shirt, dogs and hats, company praise, and Harry's voice from outside the frame. But those details did not end the discussion.
Desperate, deluded, doomed.
Oh.
That is Meghan at 45. She is desperate to be loved, to make a mark, to be loved by everybody around the world. She is deluded insofar as she thinks she's some kind of superstar in her own right and that people love her.
Before we continue, I want to mention something really quick. Organizing your family's important information is one of those things most of us know we should do, but we keep putting it off. That's exactly why there's the Family Vault. It gives you one place to organize your important documents, insurance, medical information, passwords, and more, so everything is easy to find when it's needed. You'll find the link in the description, or you can scan the QR code on your screen. That's all. Now, let's get back to today's story. They intensified it. The more Meghan showed, the more people questioned what was missing. Where was Harry on camera? Why did his reaction sound so perfectly wrong? Why did a private birthday need a public campaign?
this is the summer where she's envious that Charles is going to throw Camilla a birthday party, and she wants to hijack the headlines by looking great in her bathing suit. And I mean, it does feel like Meghan's trying to recreate some like very low points in Diana's life.
Meghan danced past every one of those questions, but Harry's two-word reaction followed her through the entire rollout. Whether he intended it or not, "Oh dear" became the line that summarized the scene. It sounded like the audience's response to another oversized production built around an ordinary moment. The tiara created the picture. The shirt delivered the message. The brand amplified the celebration. But Harry supplied the only part that did not feel rehearsed. That is why it won.
What is this about? I mean, A, what does she think she's doing? As
Well,
you
do,
said.
do you not think that she's trying to look like Diana on her last summer on Earth with all of these bathing suits and beach shots? Do you think she's trying to do that?
Well, I think there's always a suspicion of that hovering in the background with Meghan. She's obsessed with Diana, and that gets into realms of weirdness.
Meghan wanted viewers to see a carefree woman celebrating everything she had built. They saw a woman still trying to convince them that the marriage, business, status, and dream were all alive at the same time. So what did this birthday actually prove? It did not prove that the American dream was thriving. It showed how much effort now goes into keeping that image alive. It did not settle questions about Harry. It placed his voice directly at the center of them. It did not demonstrate a brand independent from royalty. It reminded everyone that the prince and the title remain the most powerful elements in Meghan's story.
This is her most embarrassing performance yet. And amid all of the concerns about the state of the marriage, the fact that we literally hear Prince Harry utter those two fateful words, "Oh dear," this felt like it had so much more meaning and significance behind it.
And it did not reveal a woman who had finally found one lasting role. It revealed another costume, another campaign, and another attempt to turn attention into approval. Meghan got the headlines again, but Harry's "oh dear" made sure they were not the headlines she wanted. Now tell us what you think. Was this nothing more than a harmless family joke that viewers analyzed far too seriously? Or did the Mrs. shirt, the carefully selected birthday content, and Harry's background reaction expose a much more calculated message? Did Meghan look genuinely carefree? Or did the clip feel like another attempt to prove that everything behind the Montecito gates was perfect? And if Harry's voice had not appeared in the video at all, would anyone outside Meghan's existing audience have cared nearly as much?